What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 47 of, I think I'm going to go with like Tuesday, 10-minute Tuesdays, because Tuesday Night Talks doesn't work. I don't think we're going to be running these ever at night like that. Not ever. It could possibly happen again. Anyways, Bruno, what's up? Thank you so much for checking in. Episode 47, I don't know why 47 is so exciting for me. I think I just realized this last week that I've done this every week this year, and actually a lot of it thanks to you, Bruno, making sure that I set a specific time and day to do it. It has changed a couple times, but I definitely want to keep it regular for you guys. For anybody who hasn't checked in or never watched before, every Tuesday I'm going to be going over any social or digital marketing news that's going on, as well as covering some other topics as well going on in the media space. Unfortunately, today there is no Hannah, there is no Nelson with me. They're doing their thing right now, which is quite all right. It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these, on my own, and I'm really excited about it. So if you do have any social or digital marketing questions, please feel free to comment below and I will answer them live. I might invite one of you guys onto this broadcast as well. But there's a lot going on in the internet world. For those of you who may not have heard yet, about a couple hours ago, the New York Times published an article stating that the FCC is released a plan to repeal net neutrality. And for those of you who don't know what this means, or what this means for us, is that it could essentially give permission to big companies like AT&T, Comcast, Cox, or anything like that to control the speed at which different websites are delivered through their internet services, right? So, for example, you could pay a premium to get the high-speed internet access that's needed to stream Netflix. This could also affect us, obviously, sites like Hulu, things like that, but it could potentially affect sites like Facebook as well if you need a certain internet speed to connect to it and to retrieve your information quickly. Now, here's the fundamental issue, is that if these big companies can actually control the speed at which you're receiving information, they can make it more and more difficult for you to retrieve the news that you really care about or communicate in the way that you wish to communicate. For example, I would hate if I couldn't FaceTime my grandma in India using my Wi-Fi and I had to pay another premium on top of that. That would suck. But in addition to that, I could be limited access to sites like the New York Times where I could get information like this, and they could potentially block sites and have them paywalled if you don't have, if you don't upgrade their services. So this is kind of a big deal, especially for me, who is obviously a little passionate about the internet. But I'm not very good at the political thing. It's definitely never ever been my thing. I don't like to talk politics at all. But what I would recommend is definitely educate yourself on net neutrality and the changes that are going on with the FCC and this type of regulation, right? It's definitely kind of a big deal. So that was the first thing that I wanted to cover today. The other thing that I wanted to cover today, or the second topic today, would be branding yourself in real estate. Now, this is something that I talked about for a really long time, back in the beginning of the year and the end of last year as well. And the reason I was so passionate about real estate agents branding themselves is because it's such a great opportunity to really just be yourself and do a lot of the networking and a lot of the farming that goes on, when you're knocking like door to door or anything like that, going to different networking groups. Now, there's still a couple things that I recommend with branding yourself, especially in real estate. And one of the theories that I have, I'm not an agent myself, but I do have a lot of friends and have worked in real estate industry on the marketing side for a long time. But one of the things that I noticed is that consumers and home buyers are looking to see what the area is like. Before they purchase a home. It's not just about the home. It's about the school that's right down the street. It's about the nightlife. How close is it to the freeway? Things like this. And it's all about the area as well as the home itself. Now, as an agent, most likely you're going to be selling homes or marketing homes that are in your hometown or somewhere that's close to you. So this gives you a great opportunity to do the things that you like doing anyway, like going out to different restaurants, going out to the park, going to the beach if you're in Orange County, and giving you reviews and promoting content about that. So over time, for example, when people see that you are the go-to person for anything that has to do with Irvine, California, and then they see on your Instagram profile that you're also a real estate agent, the next time you post that listing, you're increasing your chances of actually getting your audience to talk to you. So you got to stop thinking about yourself as the agent and just somebody that's selling homes. You have to think of yourself as a resource for everything that has to do with your farm area. Once you become that resource and that media hub for anything that's going on in your area, I can only assume that people are going to want to network with you and talk with you more and more. Now, I know that's a long stretch, and you're probably thinking, what the hell does Mikhail have to do, have anything to do or have any say with how to market in real estate? Well, the thing is this. For me personally, I've been working on expanding my reach just within Orange County, and then and reviewing different things. The Eggs Benedict thing is something that I do, obviously, but in addition to that, the travels that I might do, tagging certain places, and consistently putting out content with anything that has to do with marketing. Now, by making it really apparent that I am an Orange County native, and then in addition to that, a digital marketer, these conversations just spring up organically. I never really have to say, hey, by the way, I do internet marketing. People just naturally talk to me about other things, and then that conversation happens about the marketing services that we might have, which has helped grow the Blue Light business and my marketing business for the last couple of years now. So, the formula is the same, right? The formula is definitely the same when you're developing a personal brand, whether you're a real estate agent or an insurance agent or a digital marketer or anything like that. You have to promote content and produce content that is going to be interesting to your target market. Again, for me, it's Orange County. For me, it's social media marketing and digital marketing. So that's a lot of the content that you see. I do have that motivational aspect as well, and you'll see some posts and quote cards about things like that, and I really do believe in that stuff. But those are the three main things. Now back to the real estate agent, right? You want to promote content and produce content around things that your target audience would be interested in, and that would definitely be the content about the neighborhoods that you're selling homes in. That would definitely be about, the different schools potentially that are around, how close you are to the beach, in addition to talking about homes, design, the 5 advantages of purchasing a new home, or 10 ways to renovate your kitchen, something like that. Those are all things that would be something that your potential audience would look into. Now, Bruno did ask a question here. The question is, my girl is working for a commercial real estate company. Would you say that goes for commercial real estate as well? Yes. So even though I'm specifically talking about real estate, Bruno, I do believe that building up a personal brand for yourself is important no matter what. Now, when I say personal brand, a lot of people think that you have to be a travel blogger, a food blogger to create a brand like this. And that's simply not the case. What you could do, however, is create content, again, based around the areas that you're serving, that you're always in LA, posting pictures with your team, things like that on Instagram. But I think a better place for you to do this would actually be on LinkedIn. Not only promoting content that has to do with the last lease you just secured or anything like that, but promoting content, for example, if it is commercial real estate, about 5 things to look for when expanding your office in Orange County, right? So I can only imagine that some of her customers might be an agency owner like myself, who's looking to move into a new office. What do I look for, right? I'm looking for big open spaces for creative. I'm looking for a boardroom or a conference room, potentially, things like that. So that's a type of content that you can put out. What is a potential person looking for? What are some, loopholes in the system? Things like that. Again, I'm not 100% familiar with it, but you got to think in the key is to think in the mind of your consumer and produce content against what you would think that they would be interested in, right? Instagram is still a great place to do that, but the more important thing that I wanted to talk about with Instagram as well is the networking aspect of that, right? So again, if her target demographic are business owners and things like that, what I would really look up are different businesses that are in the area of Irvine, let's say, and you can really do some diving into finding out who is the owner of that business on LinkedIn, for example. So you can find a business on Instagram that might be renting out an office, different agencies, different tech companies. Irvine is perfect for this, obviously. Different real estate brokerages. I know that that's kind of a big thing as well, that might be looking to move in offices to some sort of corporate office. And you can go on LinkedIn, look up that business, and you can see who the CEO is, who the director of operations are, and those people at the top that are making those decisions. If you connect with them on LinkedIn, you can also find them on Instagram, and Instagram direct messaging is a great place to network right now, and it's a way that people are really being receptive to talking to different people. And that way she's at least building a network. And every so often you can put on your Instagram stories that you're doing about new listings that are out on the market or new offices that are available, things like that, because people are consuming Instagram stories. And what I love about it is, for somebody that is really passionate about keeping their Instagram feed looking really pretty, Instagram stories deletes in 24 hours or erases in 24 hours anyways. So you can still put up that business related content on your Instagram stories, but keep your feed looking really pretty. So yeah, I would say that has something to do with that commercial real estate. It would help out quite a bit as well. The more content that you can put out in your that's relevant to your industry and what your consumers would think of. It's not just about what something looks like or the copy. It's literally just building up content over time. And the more content that you have, when somebody looks up your girlfriend's name, for example, and they see that there's 27 articles on LinkedIn about this, they're more likely, that builds trust for the potential customer as well. There's just so many advantages about this, and I'd love to talk about it more. If you have any more questions, that'd be great. Betty, what's up? So good to see you. William, I see you. Nicole, it's great to see you here. Joe, what's up? I hope you've been well. Juan, thank you for checking in. Eric Medina, Vinny, love you guys for checking in. For those of you who haven't checked in before, every Tuesday we do a live Facebook feed to talk about anything going on in digital and social media marketing, as well as talking about other topics related to the internet and things like that as well. Today we are missing Hannah and or Nelson, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm glad to be talking here with you guys. If you do have any questions about social media marketing, content distribution, anything that has to do with putting out content on the internet, I don't know the best way to say this, comment below. I'd love to jam with you and talk about that. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Facebook Creators app. Facebook is really great about putting out different apps specific to marketers and developers. The Facebook Creators app is a new one that's out. I'm actually on the Facebook Creators app right now, and I think the greatest advantage of this, after just using it for a short while, I just started using it last week, is the fact that it just goes right to everything that you need to post up content to your Facebook. Now, when you go on your regular Facebook application on your phone, you get to see more insights on your videos, on your photos and things like that. But it's a great way to help measure everything that you're doing when you are continuously putting out content. It's a great way to upload your videos natively to any of the Twitter family that's listening to this. Uploading your videos natively, see how they're performing and engaging with people that way. And it just, you obviously want to see when your content is performing the best. For example, 2 p.m. might not be the best time for me to be doing this, but it's just the only time that I have during the week. So, it's a great way to measure everything that you're doing. So I would definitely check out the Facebook Creators app for anybody that is posting their own original content to Facebook. Number 4 today is community management in social media. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with real estate and personal branding. For those of you that aren't familiar, community management is the art, I guess you could say, of fostering relationships and managing your audience on Instagram, Facebook, or any other social media platform, including YouTube or things like that. So community management could look like you commenting back to somebody that commented on your brand's page, or direct messaging somebody that has a concern about that posted something positive or negative about your product or your service or your brand, right? And the reason that this is really important is because, and it's something that I've talked about 1,000 times before, but it's something that I'm definitely passionate about, and I see happening more and more as time goes on, is that the information and the brands and the companies are so, like, they're just running wild all over the internet. There's 1,000 different companies and 1,000 different people that do exactly what you're doing. Now, the thing that's going to set you apart is how you communicate with the people that actually care to follow you. So by commenting back, or giving them shout outs, or direct messaging, or anything like that, you'll actually build stronger relationships with your audience and grow it that way. In addition to that, you can also extract different members of your, members of other people's communities into your ecosystem to actually grow your audience and grow your following. So, for example, if you are a real estate agent or a restaurant or a pillow brand or anything like that, what I would recommend to you is to look up your competitors and engage with their followers. This is something that I've said 1,000 times before and something that I truly believe in, because my friend Stephanie said it the best on on the podcast interview that we did, actually, and she says, everything's been done before, but it hasn't been done by you. So just because you might be a competitor of the wing restaurant down the street doesn't mean that somebody might not like your wings better, or like how you promote your content better, or how you engage with your community better. By engaging with your community more often and more regularly, and in a genuine way, not just like giving likes out and things like that, the more loyalty you're going to build for whatever brand you're working with, whether that's your personal brand, a company, a product, or whatever it is. So these are things that I would really recommend that you focus on, because you don't need 10,000, 15,000, or 100,000 followers to grow a business online. In fact, for myself, being the social media guy or whatever, I only have 7,000 followers on Instagram, but I spend a lot of time direct messaging the people that I work with, not only because I like talking to a bunch of people, but because that's it. You have to look at Instagram and Facebook as a communication tool, not just a way to promote content. The more that you look at it as a communication tool, and the more that you look at it as an easier way to get connected with somebody, the better it will be utilized for your business efforts. There's that. That's what I'm going to end with today. So anyway, for those of you who checked in today, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This went on a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I think it was a good one. If you enjoyed the episode, I'd really appreciate it if you shared it or just liked it, something like that, and tune in next week. Again, if you have any other questions about social digital marketing, feel free to email info@bluelight.media, or you can get me at Mikhail@bluelight.media, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. And I will leave you with this today. How can you ever expect to move forward if you keep looking back? Have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon.